everyone, my name's Aaron, and sometimes I'm a full-grown human being, and I run Video After Death on Instagram, Facebook, and right here on YouTube. I'm from Buffalo, New York, and I'm here to say it's never alright to use ranch with your chicken wings. I started getting my own tapes for Christmases and birthdays and stuff like that, but I didn't really start collecting till I bought my own tapes. I guess I must have been 9 or 10 years old. I spent a lot of time at this place called the Video Factory. It was our local video store that eventually turned into a Blockbuster and then eventually into a Goodwill, which is pretty cool because I get tapes from there sometimes. I like to just squint hard enough and you can see Video Factory. The first tape I got was when I was 10 years old, actually from that Blockbuster when it was a Blockbuster. It was actually 3 films, Halloween 1, 2, and 3, the Blockbuster releases, and I was 10 years old, and I remember putting that shit up there, and the guy come taking my fucking money and me going off and having to go to a family party, and I sat in the car. It must have been like 80 degrees. I sat in the car the whole fucking party and just stared at these fucking tapes. Couldn't wait to get home. Yeah, that was fun times when I first started collecting. The guy that worked there, actually, that sold me those tapes, he actually works at the local Target. I see him sometimes. Really funny because I run up to him every time. I'm like, yo, you remember? He's, yeah, I still remember. I like collecting tapes because at first it was the accessibility. I was able to go to these places, get a bunch of crap, and bring it home and add it to my library. But still like collecting tapes because it reminds me when I was a kid. It won't change. It refuses to. I mean, the length might change, but the tape will never change. And it just reminds me of when I was a little kid. We had a slew of family home movies, and my dad had the big VHS cam. I still have it. My dad had the VHS camcorder. We have all our home movies marked, labeled, ready to go. I used to love going through those and just reliving our Christmases and reliving our birthdays. And there's just tons and tons of crap, and that's what I'm getting into lately. Television recordings. That's basically why I still like to collect. You go through phases, I guess, and I didn't know anybody else collected anything until not too long ago. I'd hate to say it, but like 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago maybe, I started collecting different types of things because that's what I'm into at the moment. I'd say I have about like 1,200 tapes that are from a distributor and released through a company that are actually movies, and I think I have about 1,100, a little under because of losing something here or there from fucking tapeware, but about 1,100 home recordings from television with commercials, 8-hour tapes that all vary from network to network. So some of my most prized tapes are this signed copy of House Guest. When I met Sinbad last year, he was through Buffalo playing bass with his band or some shit, and he signed that for me. It was really, really nice. I actually met him when I was a kid when they were filming this movie in Pittsburgh. My brother went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, and I remember we were on vacation there, saw Sinbad pull up to a red light. He had a Jeep he must have been renting, and I remember running through the I didn't even ask. I just ran through the intersection, ran right up to his car, and I held this piece of paper, and I was like, "Can you please sign this?" And he looked at me, he was like, "Whoa! Holy shit! Whoa, whoa!" And he signed that, and he was like, "Get over there! What are you doing?" He was like, completely flabbergasted that this little kid would run and try and get his autograph. That was pretty cool. I remember seeing him, I asked him, and yeah, that really did happen. It wasn't just a figment of my young imagination. Motherfucker remembered. The second tape I got here that's prized possession is my Tom Green tape. He signed it not too long ago. I think it was 2 years ago. I saw him live at Helium in Buffalo, and he was really funny. They both said the same thing. They were both like, "What is this? A tape?" Tom Green was pretty funny. He was like, "What is this? A tape? Is that a tape? A tape? A VHS? A VHS?" He was like, "A VHS? Who has a VHS anymore? Who's a VHS?" Those are pretty cool. I also have Fantastic Four movie. It's an early boot from the movie that never came out by Roger Corman. I found that at an Ambets for 50 cents. It's pretty dope. I also enjoy these. These are my kids. Got 3 of them here. I have 6. I actually have a bunch of fucking kids, but these are the kids that I like. Multiple releases, awesome covers, but it's always bothered me. I hate when they just use the same cover and the mirror image of itself. Fucking A. Here's the original copy of Friday the 13th Part 3 that I bought when I was a kid. I actually specifically remember it was at a media play. I was with my friend and his mother, And we ended up going to Media Play. I couldn't believe it. It was $6.99. I had like $4. We ended up in TJ Maxx. I actually like begged this dude's mom to like lend me the rest of the money so that I could get it. And I said I would pay her back. We were neighbors, still very good friends with that kid, and I never paid his mom. I owe you, Mrs. Speranza. But basically my most prized VHS I have are home recordings, but specifically this one. It's a young 15-year-old me that thought it was very, very funny to call into the local stations. Anything that had a number at the bottom, I would call in, and I would be Mike from Riverside, and I would ask them some kind of question, try and get a rise out of them.
Yeah. Why'd you shave your mustache? You look like my Uncle Mike.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike. You're the first person who said anything about that. Thanks very much. I hope you like Uncle Mike.
Those are very, very special to me. All my home recordings are. They're just hold a place in my heart. Basically, I'm never going to know what constitutes as rare, because it's all perspective. Like anything in life, video collecting is a lot like that. You either give a fuck what anybody talks about or thinks about your collection, or you just do you and you be you. So I guess I'm going to walk the line here. I got a couple tapes. I got this fucking Brink demo tape, sealed, still in the package. I don't really give a shit if it adds value or not. I've seen the movie a bunch of times. I don't need to open it to watch it again. Got this Cartoon Fridays tape, which is, I've heard, was a pretty good tape because it was a promotional tape that was distributed to a couple places and given out at like water parks or some shit like that. I got that from an Ambets. I actually got 4 of them at the same time. They were 4 for $1. I sold 3 of them for nothing. I wasn't, making fucking crazy money on it. I think I sold them for $10-15, but it's a pretty cool tape to me. I got this WCW Japan Super Show Rumble in the Rising Sun. It's pretty rad. I don't usually see that one talked about that much, but that's a really good show and all. If you don't like wrestling, it's your fucking fault. Got this Begotten here. I saw the trailer for Begotten on the DVD for Shadows of a Vampire or whatever that movie is. The dude that made that, I was like, holy shit. So ever since then, I've been looking for it, and I actually got it last year. So I was looking for this tape for 20 years. Before I knew anybody liked tapes, before I knew people collected tapes, before whatever, it was truly organic. I saw a commercial on a DVD and I wanted it. And I didn't stop until I got it. I got Garbage Pail Kids, the movie, which isn't, super rare, but like I said, it's all perspective. I think they're all pretty cool. I don't necessarily have a Grail tape. I don't have a Grail tape. I think that shit's stupid. I think fucking people running around going like, I want my Grail tape, I got my Grail tape, and then you either trade it or you sell it like a month later. So it's not much of a Grail tape, is it? Basically, the tapes I'm still looking for are home television recordings. I'm in desperate need of that 18 to 25 demographic commercials. I want all the commercials. I started sifting through this collection and acquiring all these television recordings, and I used to fast forward through the commercials to get to the content to write down what's on it, and then I find myself fast forwarding through the content and writing down how cool the commercials are. I guess my favorite part of the VHS community is the people that you meet. You spend all year typing away, getting some packages and sending some tapes and getting some friends and shit, and then something like VHS Fest happens and it's like a fucking party, dude. Like, you meet these people for the first time and it's like, alright, well, we're not just a screen name or you're not just an @ on Instagram, You actually meet these people, they exist, and that's my favorite part of the VHS community is that you're not all trolls on the internet talking shit about rookie collectors and shit like that. But my favorite thing that I found in the wild actually isn't a tape at all. It's a human. It's a human being. An elderly lady. Her name is Nancy. She used to run a video store. My buddy, Grizz, hit me up on Facebook. He was busy in work. He didn't have time to go out and see what was up, but he saw a posting for tapes. He said, hey, hit this lady up. Might be worth it. So I got a hold of her that day. I messaged her and I was set up a date to come out, and I was supposed to come out the next day, but it actually didn't work out that way. She was an hour away. I missed it, and I was just like looking on Facebook, and then I saw this dude post like some pictures of all these tapes that I saw that were her listing. He was like, yo, $1 a tape and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I saw some heavy tapes, and I had already talked to this lady and built a rapport and knew that she was hard up for money, so I was going to give her more than she was asking $1 a tape, but I was like, you know what, this dude totally fucking took advantage of you. I'm not tape blocking or nothing, but don't let him fucking buy your tapes before I get there. Let me come and fucking at least set you up so you know what the fuck you have, right? So next thing I know, I'm out there the next weekend, just really fucking cool. We're kicking it, telling stories. I ended up taking a box home for her and selling it for her specifically. I do all the numbers, give her everything. She'd take cash in hand, and it was rad. For a while, my buddy Grizz and I, we've just been going up to kick it. Give her a donut or whatever and listen to her talk about her shop. She's really funny. A nice old lady that was getting taken advantage of. That's one part of the community that fucking sucks. You have these poachers that don't give a shit. Dude, some people do. Some people care about other fucking people. I'm kind of at the point where I don't actively go out and look for anything specifically. I'm not collecting anything that anyone else is very interested in. I'm into television fucking recordings. That's what I fucking like now. You know, I have a whole shit ton of Joe Bob Briggs that I'm unearthing. I'm unearthing a whole shit ton of Yo MTV Raps, Club MTV, USA Up All Night, Saturday Nightmares, all that shit. I'm alright. I'm alright fucking watching TV from the 80s and 90s and shit. I don't trade much. I don't like getting rid of my tapes practically, but some notable trades I've gotten rid of. Time magazine release of Halloween. For some reason, some people fucking want. I ended up getting a couple tapes like Horror Workout. I got some Slime City, and actually traded Faces of Death 2 Clam, and I got a Blood Beach Media White Stripe with the bottom flap is pretty intact, and I don't trade mostly, so. Some of my newest tapes that I added to my collection came from helping out a buddy cleaning out a house, and these were just randomly in the house, which is pretty cool. This guy here. I've never saw this actually, you know, so if anybody wants to hit up the comments, let me know what it is. You can't even fucking see it. I got this Red Skull Prism cartoon, which is pretty cool. I got this Death Ray 2000. There's a beta Hollywood's Wild Angel, the Roger Corman story, which is pretty rad, but these are some of my recently acquired tapes. So the first tape I remember owning is actually in my hands as we speak. I still own it. It's Hanna-Barbera Productions, and it is the Flintstone comedy show. So if you're familiar with this, Pebbles and Bam Bam are actually teenagers, and these are split up between 3 animated shorts. So each one is self-contained. You don't have to think much about it. Basically a variety show, an animated variety show with these characters, with Captain Caveman and all that shit. But the third episode on this release is called Ghost Sitters. I remember as a kid being like really blown away about Pebbles and Bam Bam and Dino. Actually, I don't know why Dino went with them to babysit, but I don't know. I never thought about it. But they go to babysit a kid who's obsessed with scary things, and he proceeds to try and scare them with voiceover stuff over a loudspeaker, and they don't know that it's the kid. They actually think the kid's missing, and there's a whole ghost-esque Scooby-Doo type thing happening with that third episode. So I used to watch that all the time as a kid, and, you know, this is my original case. It just, you know, pieces are still falling off of it all the time, but I have it brand new. I have multiples of it. Just hold it very close to my heart. This one I keep in a squeeze case because I need to. It's falling apart, right? But yeah, this is it. This is the one. Remember when he was on like the commercials for Winston cigarettes?
Let's take a Winston break. That's it.
The fucking used to smoke. I want to thank VHSurfer for having me, and if you don't mind,